What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to show you how to write your first function. So inside of this code pen, what I've done is set up a basic HTML frame, and then I have put in a script tag. So in the last video I was writing everything down here in the JS file and logging it in the console, but that's not going to be what we're doing this time around. We're actually going to push this out to an HTML file. So what I have done here is I've made two variables. So John and then Honda, right? So employee first name and car brand, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a function that's going to display the employee who sold the car and then the brand of car that they sold with a string of text that says just sold a. So when we return this in this function car sale, when this actually gets put out into the visible space where we can see it, we'll see that John sold a Honda, right? And so I'm just going to show you this basic part right here, and then I'm going to work backwards, right? So what if we want to change the name of this, right? So if I change this variable to Greg or Steve, you'll quickly see that it changes the name there, right? So if we want to change this to Toyota, right? You can see that regardless of what the values of these variables are, the function's job is essentially just to do whatever is within these two brackets, which in this case is to return these two variables and then this text string, right? So we're essentially just going to nix all of this, get rid of it entirely, so we don't have anything, right? So I'm going to show you from the ground up how to do this, right? So I'm still going to keep our two variables, right? But then we're going to just type function, and then we're going to type what the function is supposed to be called. In our case, we're going to call it car sale, right? Then we're going to go ahead and put in this right here, these two parentheses, right? Which can accept parameters, but we don't need to do that right now. We're just going to go ahead and throw things in the business area, which is inside these curly braces. So what we're going to want to do right this time, just going to want to return the result of adding two variables. So in this case, we're going to type in return, right? Then we're going to say employee first name plus, and then we're going to just add a string, right? So I just put text here, sold a. Right, and see I'm adding spaces on the end, the front and the back of this, so that we have a sentence structure that makes sense, like if somebody sees it. And then I'm going to put car brand. Right, and at the end of every line, you're going to want to go ahead and throw in a semicolon. Okay, cool. So now we have this. So why are we not seeing anything over here? Great question. What we haven't done is actually called it to display to any element. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make it push to this guy right here, this h2, which is just a header to HTML, and we give it an ID, right? So like an identifier, so like your driver's license number would be an identifier, right? So it's kind of a unique value that we can identify in our JavaScript, so we can say, hey, I want this function to get pushed to here, and this is what you're going to put it in, right? So if we want to go ahead and throw it in there, what we're going to do is we're going to do document dot get elements by ID, right? Then we're going to put in this parameter, which in this case is sale, right? And then we're going to do inner HTML. Don't have to worry too much about what this means. Basically, all this means right here is that the document is getting this element by this ID right here, and then inside of it, we're going to put something there. So in this case, we're going to put car sale, right? And then when I save that, we can see that this function is being injected into this header 2 function right here. So we can see now the same thing that we saw initially, which is the car salesman sold a whatever the brand is, right? And we can even add in an additional variable. So just to add one more thing, right? Car price. Variable car price equals, right? 54,000, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to change this function, right? So we added in a variable, but it doesn't say it here yet, right? Because we haven't added it to the function. So we're going to add to the function, right? So I'm going to add space for, and then I'm going to put a $sign, right? And then I'm going to add car price. Nice, right? So we don't have the comma in there, but we can see that Steve sold a Toyota for $54,000 inside this header too, because we made those variables and we made a function that added them all, right? What's the function of our function? The function of our function is to add this stuff together, and then this right here calls for it to be displayed inside of sale right up here. So this covers the basic concept of using and displaying functions and kind of what they do. So yeah, this is how they work. So thanks for watching. I hope that this helped you. Stick around for the next video and check the links for the code pen for all this code.